day 2. We're still going to be solving equations. We're solving today with variables on both sides. That's what we're doing today. Solving with variables on both sides. If you flip back to that little box that we pasted at the top of the page last time, and we had it in Unit 2 also. The very first step for solving equations is always to do what? Distribute. Distribute is first. And then second is combine like terms. And then third is letters to the left and in front. Okay, so letters to the left. Instead of LOL is LTL. Okay, letters to the left and in front. We're moving them all to one side. And then we do the things that we've been doing to solve. What's happening to the letter, then unwrap the steps and do all that stuff, okay? So today, last time we did distributing and we did some combining. Y'all remember that? Where sometimes we had to pass something out, sometimes we had to get stuff together. Okay, so today we're going to get letters all together. So if there are variables on both sides of the equation, you have to get them together on one side. If there are variables on both sides of the equation, you have to get them together on one side. Now, how do I know how do I know that there's two sides of the equation? What separates the equation?
The equal sign.
The equal sign. Okay, so something that you might want to still do, even though I'm not making you write the steps, you might want to still draw that dividing wall so that you can see that there's the left side and then there's the right side. It might be good for you to still see where it divides. Okay? So when I say both sides of the equation, or if I say the left side or the right side, I'm talking about on the two sides of the equals. So this first one, let's do an example. 7x minus 4 equals 5x plus 16. So here's our first example. 7x minus 4 equals 5x plus 16. Okay, is there anything to distribute? Are there any parentheses in this one?
No.
No. When I ask if there's anything to combine, it's on each side. So if you draw your dividing wall, you're looking at one side at a time. Is there anything to combine over here? No. Is there anything to combine over here? No. So you don't have to combine. No distributing, no combining. Now I need all the letters to the left and in front. Which one's in the wrong spot?
The right side.
Okay, but what is the variable?
5x.
5x, this one right here. I need to move that 5x that way. The way you move it is you just subtract it because it's positive right now. If it was negative, you would add it. Just like we do our numbers and stuff when we move stuff over. So we're going to subtract 5x. Because what happens right here? 5x minus 5x, what happens?
They go away.
They become 0, so that goes away. So it'd be like 0 plus 16, which is just 16. 7x minus 5x is 2x. And then just bring down the minus 4. Okay, do y'all notice how I put the 5x underneath the 7x? Why didn't I put it underneath the 4? Because they both have x's. They need to match up. You cannot put it underneath the 4. The 4 doesn't have an x. Okay, so I see that a lot. I see people put like the 5x underneath the 4 and then try to say it's 9x. No, it's not. That doesn't have an x. That doesn't even go with it. And then you got to be careful with negatives and positives even. Okay, once you get to this point, you should take a deep breath because you should know exactly what to do. Because this is the stuff stuff that we've been doing for a while now. So what's happening to that letter?
Being multiplied by 2.
Multiplied by 2, what else?
Minus subtracted by 4.
Subtracted by 4, so to fix that, you're going to
And 4 divide 2.
add 4 first, and then divide by 2. You should be able to do that. Hopefully your brain now is kind of seeing that and going, oh, I got this. And if it's not, then we need more practice. So add 4 to both sides. You get 2x equals 20. And then when you divide by 2, what is x going to be?
10.
X equals 10. And what that means is if I take that 10 and put it right here and right here, this side would equal that side. I would get the same answer. So if I did 7x minus 4 and put 10 where the x is, that's 7d minus 4, which is 66. And then I'll do 5 times 10, which is 50, plus 16, that's also 66. They're the same. So that's the number that x is just hanging out waiting on. We figured it out. Okay, let's try another one. 2x plus 5 equals 3x minus 8. Have I got anything to distribute on this?
Nope.
No. If I draw my dividing wall and look at each side separately, is there anything to combine on this left side? Anything to combine on this right side?
Nope.
Okay, so nothing to combine. So what do I do first?
You gotta put that
You gotta
X.
subtract.
You gotta,
I need to move all the x's over to the left, right? And in front. So we're going to subtract this 3x. And over here I get 3x minus 3x, which is 0. So 0 minus 8 is still a negative 8. What's 2x minus 3x?
-1.
Negative 1x, and then bring down the plus 5. Alright, we did one like this the other day. You guys see if you can solve this one, and don't forget about that -1. That changes your answer at the end a little bit. See if you can solve it. Once you're finished, you can check yours to mine. Everybody getting that?
No.
5 and -12.
Alright, everybody get that?
Yeah, -12.
Negative 12. So negative 8 minus 5 is probably where you missed it a little bit.
Yeah,
8,
no, I
9,
got
10,
-13,
11, 12,
but then I
13.
put +1.
Plus
Okay, so then when you divide here, be sure, yeah, that you're dividing by that negative, so it's going to switch it. It started out negative, but when I divide by that -1 to get rid of it, it becomes positive. So be really careful if it's a negative x or a negative 1x to know that your answer at the end is going to switch signs. Okay, let's do one that has some distributing in it. You don't have this one written down yet? Okay, so 2 parentheses c minus 6 equals 9c plus 2.
Do you have a pen I can borrow?
2 parentheses c minus 6.
What you gonna write? Thank you.
Okay, 2 parentheses c minus 6 equals 9c plus 2. What do you think we need to do first? Distribute. If there's parentheses, please distribute first. Okay, that's why it's listed number 1. We're going to distribute first, which means this 2 gets passed out here and here, but not to this other side of the equation. And you're multiplying, so 2 times c is 2c. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12. And then the other side we didn't do anything to, so we're just going to leave it. 9c plus 2. Is there anything to combine on each side? So look at each side separate. On this side, is there anything to combine?
Nope.
No. On this side, is there anything to combine?
No.
No. So when you look at each side separate, that's your combining part. So third step, letters to the left and in front. How do I move letters to the left?
You subtract 9.
Subtract 9c. And where does it go over here?
It goes to the
Under the
c
Under
minus
the
12.
2c, so minus 9c here. Over here I have a 2 left. Here I get negative 7c minus 12. And we're back to a 2-step equation again. So this is multiplied by negative 7, subtracted by 12, so I'm going to have to add 12 and divide by negative 7. Right? So let's add 12. How many of you, even when you don't write those steps, you think about that? Like you're thinking through that? Okay, that's good, because that means your brain is processing logically what's going on. That's the reason I wanted you writing those steps so much. Negative 7c equals 14. And when I divide by negative 7, c equals negative 2.
How would it be negative if there was a positive?
I'm dividing by negative. Positive 14 divided by negative 7. A positive divided by negative is negative. Okay, we're going to do one more like this, and then we're going to do those word problems, and then we'll be done with our notes today. You can work on your assignment. Today's notes are pretty short. All right, number 4. I keep forgetting I'm zoomed in. So 7x plus 8 minus 4x equals x minus 12. 7x plus 8 minus 4x equals x minus 12. Okay, so if I look at that, there's no parentheses, right? So we don't have to distribute anything. But somebody's already said we do have to combine, right? On this side, if I look at that side, there's 2 things that need to go together. What are they?
A negative, no, positive 7x minus 4x.
The 7x and the minus 4x. And how many x will that get you?
It's 3x.
3x. 7x minus 4x is 3x. And then plus 8, we're just going to leave there. What about this side over here? Anything to combine on that side?
No.
No, so just write it down. X minus 12. Okay, that's step 2. We've combined. Step 3, letters to the left and in front.
It'll be 4x plus 8 equals negative 12.
Hold on. How do I move that letter to the left? What do I do with this x right here? Subtract it. So I'm going to subtract it. So instead of 4, that's all right. Instead of 4, it's going to be 2. Okay, so be careful that you know that you're subtracting or adding. If that had been a negative x, then we would have added it, and then it would have been 4. But this one's 2x plus 8 equals, and that's a negative 12 that's left. And then just solve it. Subtract 8 from both sides, and then divide by 2. Because right now it's being multiplied by 2 and added. Negative 12 minus 8, what am I going to get there? Same sign, add the key, so negative 20, yes. then when you divide by 2, you've got a negative divided by a positive, so your answer is going to be negative
10.
Okay, y'all feel okay about those? It's really not, it looks like a bigger mess, but it's not as much extra work as what you think. Because really, you know how to do these. It's just adding these extra little steps and walking through them. Okay, so on our word problems, I don't think we can get, we just have 3 of them, right? I think we can get all 3 on the next page, just space them out. Let them have space between each one. Make sure the last one has a little space below it. So you're going to do the one about tulips at the top. And then kind of in the middle, one about Mrs. Simmons. And then the Rose Bowl at the bottom. And I know most of you got those cut out a while ago, but I'll still give you a little chance in case you didn't quite get them all done. So get those 3 glued down.
How many lines between each one?
I don't know, I just did 4 or 5. You don't need that many. Alright, the first one, let me read it to you. It says, in a catalog, tulips cost 25 cents each, and shipping costs are $3. Write a rule that finds the number of tulip bulbs you can order for $14. I don't know if any of y'all have ever seen those catalogs with the flowers in it. My grandma used to always have this catalog with the bulbs in them, and like she would look through and find the flowers she thought were pretty and order them, and they would come in the mail. It's kind of weird, but anyway, this is how you can order tulips or irises, and there's some other plants that are kind of like that. So we're going to relate. We've got, I'm going to highlight the numbers. So I've got 25 cents each. Shipping costs are $3. My total is $14. So $14 has to go where?
That equal sign beside
That's the
it.
total. So 14 has to go out here. So right here I've got something times something else. What do you think goes right here?
0.25 plus X.
0.25, and we're going to put number of tulips, and yes, that's going to become our X. So if you want to put an X above that, because this is kind of in words describing what's going on. So 25 cents times however many tulips you order, plus, how much is it?
$3.
Basically, there's your rule. It's not a super hard thing to try to figure out. What's your equation going to look like if I get rid of all that extra?
Wait.
So it's 0.25x plus 3 equals 14.
44.
0.25x plus 3 equals 14. And then you should be able to solve it and figure out how many tulips you can get.
I can't see.
Then you need to move forward. You need to sit closer. Because I can't zoom in on the word problems because then all this gets cut off. We can't see that part. Okay, so what am I going to do first to solve this? Subtract your 3, so minus 3. 0.25x equals 11. And then divide by 0.25. And I heard you say, what'd you say your answer was?
Oh, 44?
44. So x is 44 what?
Absolute.
Tulips. This x represents the number of tulips. So 44 tulips. Alright, the second word problem. Mrs. Simmons works at a furniture store. Her base salary is $125 a week plus 1/10 of her sales. Write a rule that calculates her total weekly sales if her total weekly salary was $225. Take the hot and sign out. Okay, so we know the total has to go down here. This is going to be total.
225.
So her total weekly salary, let me highlight some of this. We get this per week. That's that, and then total is this. So yes, 225 is going to go here. She starts out with how much? 125 a week plus
1/10 of her sales.
1/10 of her sales. Okay, a lot of times when we've had fractions in things, how have we written those in our equations?
Dividing.
Dividing, yes. So the sales, this is going to be your x. So instead of doing 1/10 times x, it's a lot easier if you do x over 10, like that. Plus 125 equals 225. X over 10 plus 125 equals 225. Okay, do you see how I switched those? I went ahead and put this one first and that one second. Y'all see how I did that? Why do you think I did that?
Because the x always gonna go.
The x is going to have to be in the front, and I didn't want to have to do another step because I'm a little bit lazy. Okay, if you would rather write it just like this first and then switch them, that's fine. Yes, ma'am. Sign out. I need you to sign out. Okay, so once you've got that, then you're going to solve. Go around the side of the camera. Thank you. So you get x over 10 equals 100, and then what do you do?
Right?
Multiply. Because
Multiply.
it's being divided, so I need to multiply it. So I get x equals $1,000 in sales. That's how much she sold. If we had divided, we would have only got $10 she sold. It isn't, just put 917. And that wouldn't have made sense because you don't make much profit off of $10. Okay, this makes a little more sense. Alright, last one. The number of flowers in the rose bowl parade float for AT&T is 4 times the quantity, so that's where we're starting our word problem. 4 times the quantity of roses plus 250. If AT&T ordered and used 1,700 flowers for their float, how many were roses? Okay, so I know total goes over here by itself. Which one's total? 1,700. So that's going to go over here. And then over here I've got 4 times the quantity of roses plus 250. So what does that look like?
4x plus 250.
And what does x represent?
The quantity of roses.
The number of roses. So x is the number of roses. So yes, that's correct. We've gotta leave those parentheses in there, cause times the quantity, do y'all remember, that's one of those special ones, that means distributing. So this looks like this, 4 parentheses, x plus 250 equals 1700,
So it's 4x.
plus, so when I distribute, 4x plus what?
Was 1,000
4x plus 1000,
equals 1,007.
1700, yes, so you guys solve it, figure out how many roses there were, don't say it out loud. I'm gonna run out of room, so. Once you finish, you can check to see if it matches mine. And that'll be all our notes today.